Hello.
Hi there. I just have a question for you. You know, with everything that's gone on with you being in obviously the original theatrical release and then the Snyder cut, we love everything that you brought to the character of Cyborg, and we're so glad your character got justice. And the fans were really the ones that were moving the release the Snyder cut movement. And we would support you. You know, obviously, we know it's true. The movie speaks for itself.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. So I want to ask the question, what can we, the fans, help do to get you back with the Snyder Cut, with the rest of the Snyder Cut?
That's a complicated question. I think ultimately, how people spend their money determines what happens and what does not happen in this business, and particularly in comic books and in DC and all of that. For me, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Obviously, I've not been a stranger, I've not been shy, rather, about talking about all the things that have occurred over the last year, and the back and forth that I've had personally and publicly with Warner Brothers Pictures, Walter Hamada, and the rest of the crew over there. For me, I think it all starts with an apology coming from the Warner Brothers side of things. There's a lot of just really gnarly stuff that has gone down. Especially publicly, what Walter Hamada and Warner Brothers Pictures attempted to do professionally and personally during one of the most crucial years for Black people in the history of really humanity is just unacceptable. So until such time where an apology is issued, I probably won't be supporting any of Walter Hamada production, period. Not even probably, I definitely will not be supporting any Walter Hamada production, period. And it's a tough thing because I'm a DC fan through and through. I love these characters. But sometimes, you gotta give up what you love to do what's right. And so I'm gonna keep doing it, and I appreciate you seeing about me.
Well, you've talked a little bit about this, and I don't want to make the panel only about this, but I do have to commend you as a person and as a performer for standing up and talking about things that the ways that you were wronged. And it's so easy when you're in entertainment or in any job to just stay quiet and try to be a good soldier and move forward. I guess my question is, what forged that tenacity and bravery to speak up, to talk about these things? Was it upbringing? Was it stage experience of playing people like Ali? Was it, what kind of forged that?
I think it's a combination of things. And I do gotta say, my experience is not the only one that has been involved in this whole process, There are a lot of other folks, some who have spoken up, some who have yet to do so, may not ever. Whose lives have been affected by this whole circumstance. And ultimately, I know I've certainly been a face of speaking out about this kind of stuff, but there are a lot of folks, a ton of really brave folks that have lent their voices to the cause. And, I gotta commend Charisma Carpenter, I gotta commend, anybody who's spoken up about these sorts of things, whenever they've spoken up about them. For me personally, I just don't like bullies, particularly in the workplace. I never have. And if some of the folks on the other side had bothered to get to know me a little bit better, they probably would have understood that's not something I would ever stand for. For me, it's not about, let me backtrack for just a second here. Had I known the things in 2016 that I found out in 2020 about the production process, we would have got this resolved a long time ago. Ultimately it's finding out about the things and, asking yourself, what are you going to do about it? How do you plan on sleeping at night? And how are you going to prevent or attempt to prevent these things from happening to other people? If you got the power to do it. So I think a lot of things. And I got to thank my mom. I got to thank my grandma. My grandma's one of the most tenacious. She's probably one of the bravest people I've ever met. She took on the whole United States government at one point. It was like, I definitely get my fighting spirit from her. But I'm blessed. I've been blessed to have really great friends, really great family, a really great support system, and obviously the fans that have helped to lift the message and to really have my back on that. You're looking at a guy that doesn't have a PR person. You're looking at a guy who is just a dude using Twitter every now and then to try to get the truth out. And it's, you know, everybody out here who has helped to propel that message to make it completely unavoidable for folks. So, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. When all is said and done, would you still have an interest in playing Victor Stone again?
Oh, absolutely. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I think, for me, the circumstances would have to be right, finding the right story for the character, right? One of the big things in talking to Zack Snyder initially about, you know, joining up on the DC side of things was this idea that there was a greater plan in mind for where the character, where the universe would go. I'm not really interested personally in sort of just spinning the wheels and having it be a sort of sitcom situation, right? I'd like the character to be able to evolve in ways that we can recognize over the course of the films. And I think just that little, that seed of, you know, I'm not broken and I'm not alone. Victor going from point A to not even necessarily point B at the end of the film. Maybe he's like point A2 or point A3. You know, watching that character and be able to build a character over a series of films is something that really, really appeals to me. So I would do it in a heartbeat. Just give me a good story and, you know, let's get some of that other stuff resolved and we'll make it happen.
All right. Lucas.
Hey, how you doing? Are you hopeful the upcoming merger with Discovery will mend the bridge one day with you and Warner Brothers?
I can't really speak on that. I don't really know too much about the inner workings of corporate mergers, but you never know. I mean, they said the Snyder Cut didn't exist. They said that was impossible. They said all this for years and years. So, you know, give it time. If there's an appetite for it, if people want it, eventually, you know, I think it's possible.
Thank you.
The arc of history is long. Hi, yes.